Have you ever questioned what it means to have control over your own destiny? In a world filled with constant noise, where external influences seem to direct our every thought and action, it's easy to feel like we're merely at the mercy of circumstance. However, the ancient Stoics, figures like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, offer us a powerful lens through which we can reclaim control, not of events, but of ourselves. Stoicism, an enduring philosophy, teaches us that mastery over our lives does not come from manipulating the world around us, but from cultivating control over what lies within. Can you imagine the peace and clarity that would come from knowing exactly what you can influence and letting go of what you cannot? This foundational understanding is where true freedom begins, and it sets us on the path to profound inner resilience. In this journey of self-discovery and self-command, we will uncover 8 essential Stoic principles that lead to mastering your fate. Each principle will offer insights, tools, and reflections designed to empower you, to help you rise above life's trials with strength and serenity. Embrace these ideas, and you'll not only find the path to inner peace, but also to living a life aligned with virtue and purpose. 1. Understand the dichotomy of control. The Stoics believe that all things fall into 2 distinct categories, those within our control and those beyond it. This is known as the dichotomy of control, and it is perhaps the most liberating of all Stoic principles. When we can clearly separate what we have the power to influence from what we cannot, we release ourselves from endless worry over the uncontrollable. Ask yourself, how often do you spend precious energy on things that lie outside your influence? Consider how this distinction plays out in your own life. We often find ourselves disturbed by events, people's actions, or outcomes that simply don't adhere to our wishes. However, in the words of Epictetus, some things are up to us and some things are not. What would happen if, instead of railing against the uncontrollable, we turned our attention fully to what lies within our power? According to Stoicism, the only things truly within our control are our judgments, choices, desires, and aversions. These are our thoughts and actions, the domain of our inner self. Everything else, including wealth, health, the actions of others, or the passing of time, lies beyond our influence. Imagine the freedom that comes with acknowledging this fact. When we embrace this wisdom, we no longer waste time on fruitless attempts to shape the world to our preferences. Instead, we focus on refining our character, which remains entirely in our hands. To truly internalize this principle, practice reflecting daily on the dichotomy of control. Start by taking a moment each morning to remind yourself of what you can control that day. What are the choices, attitudes, or actions that lie within your influence? In the evening, review the day's events through the same lens. Were there moments when you reacted to something beyond your control? If so, how might you focus your energy more productively next time? Understanding the dichotomy of control doesn't mean that we abandon our goals or stop working toward our ambitions. Rather, it gives us a sturdy foundation, enabling us to pursue these goals with grace, without attachment to specific outcomes. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that life's events are neutral. It is our interpretation of them that causes us distress or peace. So, whenever you face a challenging situation, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, shift your focus inward, where your true power resides. When you grasp this principle deeply, you'll begin to see how much of your mental suffering is self-imposed, arising from a mistaken belief that we can, and should, control more than we actually can. How much lighter would life feel if you could let go of these burdens and embrace only what is yours to command? As you work to master the dichotomy of control, you're laying a crucial first stone on the path to controlling your destiny. But this journey doesn't stop here. Accepting fate does not mean passivity. Rather, it's about learning to love it, as we'll explore next in the powerful concept of Amor Fati. 2. Embrace Amor Fati, love of fate. Once we understand the Stoic dichotomy of control, the next step is learning to embrace the circumstances of our lives, regardless of how they unfold. This principle is known as Amor Fati, or love of fate. It is a reminder that while we may not control the events that happen to us, we can control how we perceive and respond to them. Imagine how liberating it would be if, instead of resisting what happens, we could learn to fully accept and even love our unique path in life. The Stoic idea of Amor Fati is not passive resignation. It is an active and profound acceptance of life's unfolding. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, encourages us to love only what happens, what was destined, no greater harmony. This harmony with life does not come from having an ideal set of circumstances, but from accepting our circumstances as ideal for our growth, our virtue, and our character. Think for a moment about a challenge you're currently facing. Is it something that feels unwelcome? Something you wish could have been different? What would happen if, instead of viewing it as an obstacle, you saw it as a necessary part of your journey? Stoicism teaches that everything that happens in our lives is part of a rational cosmic order, one that is beyond our understanding, yet perfect in its own way. To live in peace, we must learn to view life's ups and downs as essential components of this greater order. Amor Fati is especially powerful in times of suffering or adversity. Consider the Stoic perspective that even misfortune, when embraced with wisdom, can be turned into a source of strength. Epictetus, born a slave and enduring many hardships, did not see himself as a victim. Instead, he accepted his fate, using each challenge to cultivate resilience and virtue. Ask yourself, what difficulties in my life might be opportunities in disguise? What lessons or virtues might these trials help me develop? The practice of Amor Fati is not about feigned positivity or forced optimism. It's a mindset shift that allows us to see every experience, no matter how painful, as a necessary part of our growth. In embracing our fate, we dissolve resistance and free up energy to engage fully in the present. If you begin each day by reminding yourself to love whatever comes, you will find yourself less prone to frustration, anger, and disappointment. To incorporate Amor Fati into your life, try a small exercise. Each morning, mentally prepare yourself for the possibility of setbacks or frustrations. Acknowledge that these too are part of the day. When an unexpected challenge arises, consciously pause and ask, how can I embrace this as part of my path? In time, you will find yourself more accepting of whatever life brings, meeting each moment with equanimity. When you begin to love your fate, you cease to be in conflict with the world. The burden of "why me" fades away, replaced by the recognition that each experience is uniquely yours and integral to who you are becoming. With Amor Fati, we don't just survive life's trials, we transform them, integrating every experience into a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place within the universe. Embracing Amor Fati allows us to harmonize our inner world with the outer world, creating a sense of peace that remains steady regardless of circumstance. From this place of peace, we are ready to engage with the next vital Stoic practice, establishing a daily routine that is firmly rooted in virtue. 3. Establish a daily routine anchored in virtue. In Stoicism, a life grounded in virtue is a life well lived. To master one's destiny, the Stoics recommend building daily routines that incorporate the 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When these virtues become part of our daily practices, they shape our character, guide our actions, and anchor us amidst life's inevitable turbulence. Think of your daily routine as a foundation upon which you build your inner strength and purpose. Are your current routines aligned with the person you aspire to become? A day that begins with purpose and reflection provides clarity and direction, helping us remain centered and resilient. The Stoics encourage morning routines that prompt us to reflect on our values and intentions for the day. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, would remind himself each morning to prepare for encounters with difficult people and circumstances, recognizing that the virtue of patience and understanding would be his tools. By anticipating challenges, we create space for thoughtful, composed responses rather than reactive judgments. For example, you might start your day by considering how you will approach the 4 virtues in your interactions. Ask yourself, what wisdom can I bring to my tasks today? How might I show courage in the face of discomfort? Where can I exercise justice with those around me? And how will I practice temperance in my actions and reactions? Setting intentions rooted in these virtues primes your mind for a day that serves both your goals and your growth as a person. Evening routines are equally essential. They provide an opportunity to reflect on how we lived our day and to assess whether we embodied the virtues we aim to practice. Seneca advised that each evening we should review our actions, words, and thoughts, acknowledging areas where we succeeded and those where we can improve. This quiet reflection is not for self-criticism, but rather a means of aligning ourselves with our higher purpose. How often do you end your day with a thoughtful reflection? Imagine the power of ending each day with a sense of clarity and self-understanding. Establishing a daily routine grounded in virtue is not about strict schedules or rigid rules. It's about nurturing habits that support inner peace and self-command. If you wish to cultivate wisdom, consider dedicating time each day to reading or journaling about philosophical reflections. To develop courage, set small goals that push you beyond your comfort zone. To embody justice, practice empathy and fairness in your interactions, recognizing each person's humanity. And for temperance, set boundaries around your time and energy, keeping distractions at bay to focus on what truly matters. The beauty of a Stoic routine lies in its flexibility. It is adaptable to any lifestyle. Whether you have hours to devote to reflection or just a few moments in the morning and evening, the key is consistency. Repeated actions, no matter how small, become habits that shape our character over time. Ask yourself, what small adjustments can I make today to align my daily habits with my highest values? By grounding our routines in virtue, we create a life that is not easily swayed by external events. In this way, we strengthen our character and make progress toward mastering our destiny. Once you've laid this foundation, you'll be ready to explore the Stoic technique of negative visualization, a powerful tool for preparing the mind for life's inevitable trials. 4. Practice negative visualization. Negative visualization, a Stoic practice often overlooked in modern self-help, is one of the most powerful ways to prepare ourselves for life's uncertainties. At its core, negative visualization involves mentally rehearsing worst-case scenarios to build resilience. Why would the Stoics encourage us to focus on life's potential misfortunes? Because imagining adversity, paradoxically, strengthens our ability to face it calmly. Wouldn't you rather be prepared than caught off guard by life's twists and turns? Epictetus taught that we should rehearse in our minds the things we might lose or the setbacks we may face. This is not an invitation to dwell on negativity, but rather to prepare for life's inevitable disruptions. When we envision these scenarios, we reduce the shock factor if they actually occur. Imagine the peace of mind that comes with knowing you can face difficulties with calm and composure. By familiarizing ourselves with potential setbacks, we are less likely to react with fear or anger when they arise. For instance, before starting your day, take a few moments to picture the possible challenges ahead. What if a crucial meeting doesn't go as planned, or if someone criticizes your work? By imagining these situations, you can prepare to meet them with grace, choosing thoughtful responses over emotional reactivity. When we practice negative visualization, we engage with our fears, allowing us to confront them and mentally rehearse rational, constructive responses. This Stoic technique can also help us appreciate what we have. By contemplating the potential loss of something or someone dear, we heighten our sense of gratitude. When we imagine life without certain comforts, relationships, or possessions, we are reminded to cherish them fully in the present. How often do we overlook the gifts we already possess, focusing instead on what we lack? Through negative visualization, Stoicism teaches us to see the value of the present and to embrace it with a profound sense of appreciation. Incorporate this practice into your daily routine by selecting 1 or 2 scenarios to visualize each morning. They could be as simple as considering a minor inconvenience or as profound as imagining life without a cherished relationship. Conclude each visualization with a moment of gratitude, acknowledging the value of what you have now. This practice builds a mindset that is resilient, adaptable, and appreciative of each moment. With negative visualization, You are not denying life's risks, but rather preparing for them. As you become comfortable with the idea that life is unpredictable, you'll notice a new sense of confidence. Instead of fearing the unknown, you'll approach it with acceptance and strength. With this resilient mindset, we are ready to cultivate another crucial Stoic practice: gratitude and mindfulness. 5. Cultivate gratitude and mindfulness. In Stoicism, gratitude is more than a polite response. It is a deep appreciation for the present and for the entirety of life's gifts and challenges. By practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to the abundance of what we already possess. This shift not only brings us contentment, but also strengthens our resilience. How often do you pause to consider the blessings and lessons each day brings? The Stoics encourage us to find joy and value in simple things. By grounding ourselves in gratitude, we become mindful of the present and see each moment as a precious opportunity to learn and grow. Imagine what your life would be like if, rather than dwelling on future desires or regrets from the past, you immersed yourself fully in the here and now. This mindset allows us to move through life with a calm and steady heart, unaffected by fleeting desires or disappointments. Marcus Aurelius often reminds us in his meditations to receive without pride, let go without attachment. This Stoic approach to life emphasizes non-attachment, urging us to appreciate what we have without clinging to it. Practicing gratitude helps us develop this attitude. When we are thankful for each moment without trying to hold on to it, we free ourselves from the constant push and pull of desire and fear. To incorporate gratitude and mindfulness into your life, consider creating a simple daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a few minutes to reflect on 3 things for which you are grateful. They can be as profound as the love of family or as simple as the beauty of a sunrise. Let this practice remind you of the richness of your life as it is, rather than as you wish it to be. Mindfulness, closely related to gratitude, teaches us to engage fully in each experience without judgment. In this way, we practice acceptance, acknowledging life as it unfolds rather than imposing our expectations on it. By bringing a mindful, grateful attitude to everyday activities, such as enjoying a meal, conversing with a friend, or simply sitting in silence, we learn to savor the present, making each moment meaningful. This gratitude-focused mindset fosters resilience. When hardships arise, we can still find small moments of appreciation, whether for the lesson a challenge brings or the strength it helps us build. Gratitude does not ignore difficulty. Rather, it acknowledges it while choosing to focus on what remains good and valuable. As the Stoic Seneca observed, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. By rooting ourselves in gratitude, we redirect our attention away from imagined troubles and ground ourselves in what is real and present. Gratitude and mindfulness keep us balanced, helping us approach life with an open heart. When we cultivate these qualities, we move forward with acceptance and inner peace. And with this serene foundation, we are ready to explore the next Stoic practice, journaling, a powerful tool for reflection and growth. 6. Record intentions and reflections in a journal. To the Stoics, journaling was a sacred practice, a daily conversation with oneself aimed at refining the mind and spirit. By writing down our thoughts, intentions, and reflections, we create a record of our personal journey, one that helps us learn from each experience and adjust our course as needed. How often do you take time to reflect on your actions, choices, and thoughts? Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoics, kept a journal throughout his life. His writings, known as meditations, were never meant for publication, but served as a space for him to explore his thoughts and challenges. In these writings, he reminds himself to be patient, to be mindful of others' faults, and to act in accordance with virtue. Imagine the clarity that comes from such regular self-examination. When we reflect on our day, we gain insight into our character, strengths, and areas for improvement. Journaling offers several benefits. First, it provides a place for setting intentions. Each morning, you might note how you plan to live out Stoic virtues that day, perhaps by showing patience in a difficult situation or by acting justly in your interactions with others. These intentions act as a guiding compass, helping you stay aligned with your values. Writing them down strengthens your commitment and reminds you throughout the day to act with integrity. At the end of each day, your journal becomes a space for honest reflection. What did you learn? Were there moments when you acted in alignment with your values? Are there areas where you can improve tomorrow? This process is not about self-criticism, but about observing patterns and refining your character. By understanding ourselves better, we can take deliberate steps toward growth. The journal also serves as a record of our progress. On difficult days, looking back on past entries can provide perspective and encouragement. It reminds us of the distance we've traveled and the inner strength we've built along the way. This awareness keeps us motivated to continue cultivating virtue and self-mastery. If you're new to journaling, start small. In the morning, write down 1 or 2 intentions related to the Stoic virtues. In the evening, take a few moments to reflect on the day. With time, you'll develop a clearer understanding of your motivations, habits, and growth areas. This consistent practice builds self-awareness and resilience, strengthening your ability to navigate life with wisdom and calm. Journaling brings clarity to our journey, helping us make sense of our experiences and choices. As you cultivate this practice, you become more intentional in your actions and more aligned with your values. From this reflective state, you are better prepared to identify and address anti-Stoic habits that may hinder your progress toward inner peace. 7. Identify and eliminate anti-Stoic habits. In our journey to control our destiny, it's essential to recognize behaviors that oppose the Stoic ideals of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Modern life often tempts us with habits that undermine our peace of mind and distract us from our path. By identifying these anti-Stoic habits, we can replace them with actions that reinforce our growth and resilience. Are there habits in your life that, when examined, do not align with your values? One of the most common anti-Stoic habits is procrastination. Delaying important tasks or decisions leads to anxiety and a lack of fulfillment. The Stoics valued discipline and promptness. Seneca warned against wasting time, as it is the one resource we can never reclaim. By setting clear goals and breaking tasks into manageable steps, we can overcome procrastination and make steady progress toward our aspirations. Another destructive habit is comparing oneself to others. In today's world, where we are constantly exposed to others' achievements and possessions, it's easy to feel inadequate. However, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own development, finding satisfaction in personal growth rather than external validation. Ask yourself, how often do you measure your worth against someone else's success? Instead of comparing, strive to be better than you were yesterday. Seeking external blame is another habit that prevents inner peace. The Stoics teach us to take full responsibility for our reactions and choices, regardless of others' actions or external events. Blaming others or circumstances shifts our focus away from what we can control, our thoughts and actions, and creates a sense of helplessness. By practicing accountability, we reclaim our power and direct our energy toward constructive change. Recognize, too, the habit of mindless consumption, whether of food, media, or material goods. Stoicism values temperance, urging us to live with moderation and mindfulness. Excessive consumption often distracts us from what truly matters, leaving us dissatisfied. Reflect on your consumption habits and ask yourself, are these adding value to my life? Practicing temperance brings clarity and prevents distractions from veering us off our path. Identifying anti-Stoic habits is a process of honest self-assessment. Consider taking one habit at a time, observing its impact on your life, and gradually replacing it with a Stoic-aligned alternative. This approach helps create lasting change, building a lifestyle that fosters peace, purpose, and self-respect. By eliminating habits that conflict with Stoic virtues, we free ourselves to live more intentionally and focus on what truly matters. In this state of clarity, we can now engage with others in a way that embodies the Stoic virtues of justice and compassion. 8. Strengthen relationships through justice and compassion. In Stoicism, relationships play a crucial role in leading a fulfilling and virtuous life. The Stoics teach us that while we should strive for inner peace, We are also social beings with a duty to act with justice and compassion toward others. When we interact with others through the lens of justice and compassion, we create connections that reflect our highest values, enriching our lives and contributing positively to society. Have you considered how your actions and words impact those around you? Justice, as defined by the Stoics, is not merely about fairness. It is the recognition that all individuals share in the same human experience and deserve respect. This perspective encourages us to act with empathy and to understand others' perspectives, even when they differ from our own. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we were born to work together, and that each person we encounter is a part of the same human community. When we cultivate justice in our relationships, we view each interaction as an opportunity to bring harmony and understanding. Compassion is the active expression of this justice. In a world often marked by division, the practice of compassion, offering kindness and patience to others, has a powerful effect. Instead of seeing others as obstacles or sources of frustration, we recognize their struggles and respond with empathy. When someone disappoints or frustrates us, Stoicism advises us to consider the possibility that they are acting from ignorance or distress, not malice. How often do we jump to conclusions or assume the worst in others? What might happen if, instead, we approach them with understanding? One way to incorporate justice and compassion into daily life is to practice active listening. In conversation, focus not on how you will respond, but on truly understanding the other person's words and feelings. This practice allows us to respond with wisdom, offering support or guidance as needed. It also fosters a deep sense of connection and respect, as the other person feels seen and valued. The Stoics also remind us to extend justice and compassion to ourselves. Often, we can be our own harshest critics, judging ourselves for perceived failures or weaknesses. Just as we should be patient and forgiving toward others, we should practice self-compassion, allowing ourselves to grow without harsh self-criticism. Ask yourself, when was the last time you showed kindness to yourself during a difficult time? To nurture these virtues, consider taking a few moments each day to reflect on your interactions. Did you act with justice and compassion, even in challenging situations? Did you offer understanding rather than judgment? This reflection not only strengthens your relationships, but also reinforces your commitment to Stoic principles. By practicing justice and compassion, we create a positive ripple effect that touches everyone we encounter. As we grow in our capacity for understanding, we build relationships that are resilient, meaningful, and aligned with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with others. With these strong connections, we continue along the Stoic path toward controlling our destiny. As we have explored, controlling your destiny with Stoic wisdom is not about controlling external events, but about mastering the inner self. By understanding the dichotomy of control, embracing Amor Fati, and building daily routines grounded in virtue, we gain a powerful foundation for self-mastery. Practices such as negative visualization, gratitude, journaling, and eliminating anti-Stoic habits guide us along this path with clarity and resilience. Each of these principles empowers us to cultivate relationships built on justice and compassion, enriching our lives and those around us. The Stoic journey is one of continuous growth, urging us to engage with life fully, without attachment to outcomes, and with a deep appreciation for the present. Now, the journey is yours to continue. Take these Stoic teachings and apply them to your daily life. Reflect on how each principle might bring greater peace and purpose to your journey. If you found these insights valuable, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments below. How will you apply Stoicism to control your destiny? Like, subscribe, and share this content to support others in finding the Stoic path. Thank you for joining this journey, and may wisdom and serenity be your steadfast guides.